Okay, Earth signs, happy Friday. We had, I usually ask from one deck or the other first, so like all the cards from the Ethereal Visions came first. And we had four of them come out at once. I asked for two, you got four. So in this doorway, you have the Two of Swords. Your unconscious, your spirituality, your emotional well being, it's very calm, but you can see you've got your back turned to it here, right? You've got these two swords, and the way that you're holding them, it's like you're trying to hold these double-edged thoughts, these thoughts that imbalance your male and your female side. Your divine nature is to be in balance, right? And you've got these thoughts that are causing you to be indecisive, and you're trying to balance them the way that you're holding them, but they're still going to cut your head off. You're still blinded by this. You're still at this crossroads, this indecision. So you've turned your back on your emotions, on your spirituality, and that's what you need to take the blindfold off and face. Okay, that's the key to enter this doorway. Stop sitting there, unblind yourself, make the decision. And we also have Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is almost to the point of harvest. It's almost everything you could want. It's almost the ultimate satisfaction. And for the clarifier, I'm not sure which card it was going to clarify. I asked for the Two of Swords to be clarified, but out came the Ten of Pentacles. So from a 9 to a 10, the clarifier is the 10. And the Ten of Pentacles has to do with satisfaction in your work, your career, your job, your daily life, like with your family, your creativity, your personal growth, anything that has to do with like personal growth towards the material world, towards relationships, towards careers. I don't know if you can see the candle flame. Oh my gosh, it's just flickering like crazy, and it's really high. So if you see flickering, that's the candle flame. It's like huge. I'll try and show you a little bit. It's just like going nuts here. So there's something that, this is a very passionate thing for you. This is a very illuminating thing for you with this candle flame. Now we also have Seven of Swords, which to me, this particular Seven of Swords, I can't tell if he's like stolen these swords or if he's found them and he's like trying to protect them. So, your indecisiveness could be about trying to protect your ideas, trying to protect who you are intellectually against, sometimes you feel like you lose yourself in a relationship or you lose yourself in a career, and you're trying to defend against that, but that can be the cause of the issue if you have too high of a boundaries. For clarifier on the Seven of Swords, so we went from 9 to 10 in Pentacles, right? So here we are, Seven of Swords to Eight of Swords, and you'll notice this is not quite like Two of Swords, right? But a little bit. You'll notice she's standing on this fertile ground. She's standing in an open field. The sky is not sunny. It's cloudy. And it's cloudy because she's blindfolded. There's no sun guiding her. There's no moon guiding her. There is just clouds. And the clouds symbolize her being blindfolded. She's done this to herself. She's put these swords. She's somehow managed to bind herself, but she could get free quite easily. She could back up find one of the swords, back up, and very gently, cut the ropes and free herself. She could get the blindfold off herself. There's literally nobody else around. And the swords, look at the space in between, how the swords are stuck into the hill, into this prosperous ground, into this fertile ground. So I'm not saying you're entirely doing this to yourself, but in a way you are. It's good to balance, like, being too free with, your emotions, with your thoughts in terms of speaking to others, or too free with your time, like giving too much and shutting yourself off completely, right? Like having that boundary. So now the Queen of Pentacles came in with the Seven of Swords, which to me is saying the Seven of Swords, you're protecting something. You're protecting these thoughts, this creativity, whatever it is that you're focusing on in terms of these pentacles, you're trying to protect it. The Queen of Pentacles, she's all about abundance. She's got, this rabbit here. She's got the new dawn. Sorry, the camera keeps, because the candle flame is still going. It's still very passionately burning. And, she's beating on this drum. It's got the skin and she's got a bone, and she's beating on this drum. She's calling this abundance in, and she's calling it in right from, like, the bones of her ancestors, from the food that she eats to grow, from her own flesh and blood. She is calling this in, this abundance. And this is also very, with the red and the green, it's very passionate, it's very healing, it's very, green is also monetary, not just healing. And the thing is, I just noticed it mimics the little girl at the old man's feet in the Ten of Pentacles, right? The little girl who's, petting the dog or feeding the dog or whatever, training the dog. So she's kind of guarding it. She's guarding this loyalty. She's training it. She's helping it to grow through loving and nurturing, but she's also healing this passion. And the last card in the first set that I asked for was the High Priestess. So this is inner knowing. This is balancing your divine masculine and feminine. With the moon and the sun, it's illuminating inner knowledge. She's got the book of knowledge, the book of life right here. So she has this ability to read it, to understand it, to figure out what to do to achieve what she wants. And for clarifiers, the Nine of Swords, all these swords, all these thoughts, all this negativity surrounding you, to me this is the card of anxiety, but the swords are hanging up on the wall, so they can't actually harm you. They can't actually do anything. Whatever you're protecting with the Seven of Swords, that also has you bound up and has you anxious, it can't harm you. You don't need to protect it that much. And the Queen of Cups, this is a lot like the High Priestess, because it's talking about using your intuition to free yourself from this anxiety, from this depression, from these, sometimes this talks about nightmares because the person is in a bed. But to me, it could also be, bad habits. These swords could be bad habits that you're trying to protect, and you shouldn't be trying to protect them. You should be trying to free yourself from them. And that's what, the Eight of Swords is talking about. You should be trying to, instead of protect them, you should be trying to free yourself. So at the bottom of the Druidcraft deck, I'll go over this very quickly. Prince of Pentacles, he's not moving. Notice his sword is right here. He's got his shield up, but he's kind of lackadaisical about it. The horse is basically stopped, not really defending itself, not really carrying this sword pointed off to the side. It's really doing nothing. It's not doing its job. Is a sword in terms of a defense weapon, but the shield does. So you're trying to protect something, but one of your thoughts at least is just kind of going off to the side, like, do I really need to protect this? Do I really need to take this action? I don't know. I'm just going to stand here and wait. And then you've got Strength, which, notice she's wearing the red and the gold. She's got passion in the sun, and she's got, control of the wild boar. So she's got control of the wild boar as Odin. And a lot of the myths, they talk about, controlling nature. They talk about he's got his ravens, thought and memory, with him. And so this card could be talking about having the ability to control your thoughts, control those swords, control your memories, so that they help you instead of harm you. And this particular Three of Swords, I read it as like not closing off your heart, not closing off your thoughts, because your thoughts can also influence they obviously influence your emotions, and vice versa. But when you're closing off your heart and you're guarding it against this tree of knowledge, this tree of life. You're guarding it against growing, against your passions. So stop, guarding your heart. Don't lock your heart up. And then Three of Cups, celebration, collaboration sometimes, but I'm going to read this as celebration today. And Ace of Wands, this new beginning, this new growth in terms of spirituality, in terms of your emotions, in terms of your life or your family, Ace of Pentacles, this is about stability, about leadership. It's also about not needing to defend. It got quite dark in here. I'll turn on the light. It's also about not needing to defend, because you see he's got food. He's got that boar from the Strength card, and he's conquered it to the point, just like she has, to the point of he doesn't need to raise a sword against it. He's actually eating it for dinner. And the shield is here, up against the fireplace, completely relaxed, right? And then we have Two of Cups. So this is healing and spirituality and passion, and the spirituality has control of the passion, and the healing, it's joining together. It's a union. It's, happiness. It's a balance between the male and the female, the light and the dark, between the material, which the green can also be seen as the material, right? So it's a balance between the spiritual and the passion and the material, the physical world. And then we have Seven of Pentacles, harvest. Excuse me. And Ace of Cups. So this flowing, wonderful new beginning, right? This bountiful beginning. Excuse me, at the bottom of the Ethereal Visions, what's hidden from you, what you don't know. We had the Queen of Pentacles, so again, abundance. And Seven of Pentacles, which you had in the other one. And this is talking about the harvest. He's looking there, he's like, oh, my harvest has grown. Do I want to harvest it yet or not? This one, he's showing way more doubt in whether or not he wants to harvest it. And then Page of Wands. You know, you're looking at it, you're looking at this, and you're like, she looks very doubtful. She's got her back turned to us. So she's trying to make this decision all on her own. Okay, she's not asking anybody's help or advice. She's like, I want to look this over and I want to think about it and I want to make my own decision for myself. And the decision is about, you know, the spirituality. It's about, you know, not guarding this. Do you want to take this step? Do you want this change? And then underneath that we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this change is going to lead to abundance in the material world as well as the spiritual world, right? With these pentacles here and these wands and this flowing. So this is all about getting a harvest once you get yourself unstuck, once you get yourself unbound from these negative thoughts, these negative people, maybe even negative influences that are holding you back. So that's what you need to focus on for today. Getting yourself unbound, using your strength, using your creativity, using your knowledge to grow. Have a great Friday. If you like this video, please hit like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Subscribe, hit notifications. If you have comments or thoughts, just leave them down below. Otherwise, have a great Friday. Sorry for all the coughing.